there's a book that's called what is it called? It's called like, oh shit, I'm gonna mess up the name of it, but it's something about don't run, just walk, and something about eating bacon or something like that. But it's a really great reference guide, and I actually based the War on Carbs book off of just the way that this book was laid out and the way that it looked. And the guy says you should never need any special clothing for exercise. He's like, you need to rethink the way that you think about exercise. He's like, if you're in a pair of jeans and you're in work clothes, he's like, you should be able to get in some form of exercise. He's like, and for me, it's just walking. Just go outside. Just go for a damn walk. Mm-hmm. He's like, yeah, sometimes it's hot. Sometimes you get a little sweaty because it's the summer or something like that. But he's like, you know, you don't want to set up all these boundaries towards fitness and towards exercising because it's so easy to talk yourself out of it. You're like, well, I got to go home and I forgot to bring my clothes today. And it's like, well, now you're just, now you're just fishing for a bunch of, I've heard people even say, I've seen people leave the gym and go back to their house to get their pre-workout, to have their pre-workout and come back to the gym. It's like, that's wild. Are you serious? Like, you really need that for your workout? You can't just exercise?
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Yeah, no, I never really thought of that. Pre-workout is a barrier for some people because if they don't have it, they can't work out. That is pretty rough.
Have you ever messed with pre-workout stuff?
In the past? Yeah, like when I was younger, I did. But the reason why I stopped taking pre-workout is because I was like, I don't want to have to need this to motivate me to get in the gym. Mm-hmm. Like, you know, caffeine's cool, but like it's when I started being like, oh God, I'm starting to really need this. Isn't good. So I put, you know, I had to take it off cold turkey, and my workouts suffered a little bit. That was when I was like mainly doing the bodybuilding thing, but then I got used to it.
How young people start on those pre-workouts and they're just recklessly downing them left and right. I mean, they're kind of dangerous.
They are, especially like, again, first off, if you take too many and then you start stacking it. I did that stacking thing for a few weeks.
I haven't messed with any of that in a long time.
I did that for a few weeks when I was like 17. I stacked a few pre-workouts and it was just like, oof.
Yeah, back in my day, we had
the good stuff.
Yeah, we did. We had ephedrine, and
that was in the original Jacked, right?
Yeah. So yeah, like well, maybe
I'll check.
Ephedrine's been illegal for a pretty long time. We used to get mini thins from the supermarket, straight ephedrine, just straight up ephedrine. I mean, straight up like like fucking crack. Basically, it's speed.
Wait, mini thins? Like mini thins?
They're white. They're white little tiny pills that were like 25 milligram ephedrine tablets.
Wow.
And me and my friend, we would mix up these crazy like shakes before we would work out. We'd mix in and we didn't know what dosage was in it because we would take 2 packets of mini thins, which is like I don't know, let's see, 75 milligrams, 150 milligrams of ephedrine.
How old were you?
Freaking 17 or something. And then we would throw No-Dos in there and we'd mix it with a Metrex shake.
Did he just say, I never did any pre-workout?
I used to. Well, I made pre-workout before they had it. I made it myself. I didn't know what it was called.
Jesus Christ. You made your own mixture of drugs and crack. And, oh my God.
Yeah. We used to, and then we'd throw aspirin in there too because it helps absorb it better. It was just fucking wild.
Nsima face.
Dude, like how are you not dead?
Well, it's the old ECA stack. It's ephedrine, caffeine, and aspirin.
Yeah.
ECA.
Jeez.
Got to get up on your ECAs.
I thought I was kind of wild.
They used to be in, I think it was, maybe it was just called Speed Stack. I think maybe it's just a liquid, just American bodybuilding, the Eagle one. That one had that in there too.
Do you remember?
But I never used to drink any of those things. I always used to just do the straight up ephedrine.
Do you remember how you felt? Like, was your heart beating or was you
felt amazing?
Like, that just sounds so scary, bro.
Oh, it's wild. It's wild.
The good old days.
Yeah, the good old days. Dang. I don't know why they took that stuff off the market.
Me neither.
Good stuff.
I mean, look at you.
I know, I'm fine.
We should bring that back.
Yeah,
for tomorrow's deadlifts.
But so ephedrine disappeared, and then that's when I think BSN came out with their pre-workout. They had one of the first pre-workouts going, And then there was a few other companies that kind of followed. And when that stuff came out, I was like, this stuff's garbage compared to the old ephedrine that we used to take.
That's why you don't mess with it.
Yeah, I'm like, I don't need any of that bullshit.
Yeah, Ricardo on Instagram says that they still have that in Canada where you can get ephedrine. I was like, man,
I think you can get it on the internet.
The interwebs.
Probably you can get that shipped.
Yeah,
Most likely.
That sounds good. Yeah,
the good old days.
Yeah, I just feel like with the pre-workout stuff, it's sort of just like the taste and the feeling, and it becomes a ritual.
Yeah.
Because I think if you're taking it every day, that caffeine's probably not doing anything for you anyways. But it's just like, this.
Well, some people just scoop it right into their mouth.
Yeah, there's that too. But I think it's
Right to
just
the face.
It's just like, okay, now I have my pre-workout drink, so now it's go time.
Yeah.
And then that's it. But I don't think it actually affects anybody. Like after a while, I don't think it really does
You
anything.
don't feel. Yeah, you're already so used to it, right?
Yeah,
At that point.
yeah.
That's why they start taking more and more caffeine. It's generally the caffeine, but then there's also the beta. Some people like that feeling of that itch.
Hate that feeling.
I hate the itch.
Yeah.
Did you ever put any beta alanine in anything you took in pre-workouts or not?
I never mess with that, but they do put other stuff in there too, like B vitamins and stuff, and the niacin, right?
Niacin,
and it makes your skin all flush and crazy.
Yeah, not a fan. I just like caffeine, like coffee.
Mm-hmm.
Is that usually what you do for pre-workout now? It's just maybe a cup of coffee?
I usually have that big mug, and today I just need to drink the whole thing, but usually that'll last me like a few hours, and I'll finish it before I work out too. So I'm usually a little bit caffeinated before I work out, but I don't need to be.
I think some of it too is like almost like an insecurity. Like you're worried that if you're not like alert enough that you're not going to have a good workout. I kind of worry about that sometimes with the podcast. I'm like, I should have a cup of coffee.
Yeah, that's why I got a cup myself.
I'm sure the show would be the same either way.
It probably would be, but like
we should try it with those ECAs.
Talking 100 miles an hour.
Start a business on the podcast.
The only thing I remember from that was like, well, my friend had some complications from it, but I was always okay.
Oh no!
But I remember, all I remember is getting like cotton mouth. You know, I remember I'd be like, damn, getting those like white things on the sides. You're like, fuck. Man. That's what I remember. But my friend was like, man, he's like, I can't breathe. Actually, I remember one day we just OD'd and we had to leave the gym. Now I'm starting to come back to me. I was like, dude, I'm not feeling so good. He's like, me neither. I was like, let's get out of here.
Let's go have a pizza.
Yeah, we just took off.
Whoever, you know those cartoons that guys made for you where you guys have those like massive eyes? I just pictured that.
Yeah.
When I think about that. That'd be a great little cartoon. Like it's oh God.
My brother would have some good stories on some of that stuff too. It was like you would just read about it in the magazine, so you just like go do it. And no, like there was not a lot of information. There was no internet, so Muscle Media 2000 would talk about how it's good to take this before you work out, fasted, and it'll help burn fat. So I was like, oh, fucking cool, let's try it.
Muscle Media 2000?
Yeah.
What is that?
That was Bill Phillips' magazine. Bill Phillips is the EAS guy.
Okay.
Yeah, he's the guy that brought creatine to the market and stuff like that back a million years ago.
Yeah.
That magazine was great. The magazine had a lot of cutting edge information. They had, back 20 some odd years ago, it had information about low carb style diets. Fasting was a big thing even back then. Mm-hmm. There's somebody I'm working on getting on the podcast is the guy who wrote the Warrior Diet. You ever heard about the Warrior Diet?
I heard about that a long time ago.
Yeah. So he wrote a book probably 25 years ago talking about eating one meal a day. And everyone's like, this guy's an asshole.
Everyone's doing that now.
I know. Now he's sitting back just twiddling his thumbs going, okay. Okay, yeah, I'm an asshole. Yeah. Okay, now everybody's like kind of understanding it. But that magazine really brought a lot of the top people to the forefront. Charles Poliquin was a big part of it, and that's where I got a lot of my information. But I remember reading about this, ephedrine stack and how it like burns fat and gets you fired up for a workout. So I was like, sure, let's go do it. But like me and my friend were reckless with it because we started taking it way too much because you get used to it just like you do with caffeine.
Yeah.
And it's ephedrine is like a asthma medication. So probably a good idea. Probably a good idea they discontinued it.